what's the topic, etc.? Give you your time. Let's go. What's your name?
Just call me Bob.
Bob. Okay, so if we're not going to pretend it's a discussion, can I have a taste?
There's no real need. There's no need to dramatize what we're doing here.
Oh, you think?
So,
no, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You think I'm dramatizing if I'm asking for time?
That's an accusation.
Yeah, that's the accusation. That's right. Yeah. So there's no goodwill. I have bad back anyway, so you don't know my situation. That's why I need the thing.
So the subject is just going to be why I believe the composition of Allah is just going to remove the possibility that Allah is the first act, therefore necessitating that Allah, or rather the Sunni conception of Allah, cannot be God.
Okay, no problem. So you're coming, let me understand your position. You're coming from a classical atheist point of view.
Well, no, I mean...
You're not a jack in the box, for example, so you can't hold it
none of
with
this,
a non-position.
none of this critique is going to necessitate an assumption of theism, rather it's an assumption of mereology. So, firstly, clarifying question.
No, don't go jump into the debate. Let's sort out what constraints the debate. 1 second, let me speak.
Yeah.
We take turns, obviously. It's like let's get the constraints of the debate sorted before you jump into the topic. So I'm not going to only limit it just to that. I'm also going to talk about your position or your belief. Because I don't want it. Because I don't believe you're a jack in the box. You have a belief. If you want to talk to me as a Muslim, that's fine. But I have to equally be able to critique your position.
Do you believe that Islam, of its own merits, can prove itself to be true and have no logical contradictions?
I do, yeah, I do. In the same way that you assumingly do as well.
Okay, so let's focus in on Islam first. Then I promise you, whatever is the result of our discussion about Islam, we will then talk about Christianity. Why? Because my critique has no assumptions that my position is true, rather an assumption of mereology.
Okay, so before you proceed, what is, you still haven't explained, do you hold to classical theism?
Yeah, I'm a classical theist. And now
you are classical theist?
Now, what do you think classical theism means?
Well, it's a model of God. It's a model of God. As opposed to, for example, I'll give you a second. As opposed to pantheism or open theism or other models of God. And
what
is
model
this,
of classical
theism?
Let him finish.
Calm down, boss. So what makes his model of God different to the other models of God, like open theism and pantheism, pantheism, and etc. So there's usually 4 defining things that makes his model different to all the other ones. And
why are you talking, bro?
Simplicity.
Let them talk.
Divine simplicity.
No, you shouldn't be talking, bro.
No, he's mentally sick.
Why are you talking? We have a conversation.
That whole team is mentally sick.
I was just explaining.
Forget it.
Being apathetic.
All I'd say.
No, they're talking about him, I'm sure. Yeah.
Classical theism is not pantheism. Rather, say what model of classical theism you're pointing to and say what it is.
Okay, I'm telling you because I don't know what is you believe.
You're childish, man.
I think alright, I'm doing so far delineating what classical theism is. Let's have some patience. So far. So I can keep on talking anyway. So there are people like classical theism, it starts with, let's say, for example, the ideas of Parmenides and goes on to today's day. The major thinkers in this, like Boethius, excuse my pronunciation of them, most recently, or for you guys anyway, Thomas Aquinas. I don't know, that's why I need to ask. Not funny. We haven't made a joke yet. But if I'm asking, it should be fun. So yeah, you got Thomas. So anyway, classical theism usually distinguishes itself from other models of God in that it is simple, divine simplicity, which usually says that God has no thoughts, passions, or he's not affected. So he himself cannot love. Wait, you explain. Ask me to explain to them.
So I just want to correct you. You're not giving me a definition of classical theism. And in fact, the examples that you've given of instances of classical theism is incorrect. So for example, traditionally Sunni Muslims will either be neo or classical theists themselves.
Neo-Platonists.
No, neo-classical theists. Do you know what a neo-classical
And his phone is good.
You made that accusation on charge. Which group? Give me a group. Was it the Jahmiyyah, the Mu'tazila, the Ash'ari?
Well, I'm only...
No, you just made that up. Anyway, so you see...
Now, let's continue.
No, would you like me to finish the first question? You asked me a question. No, I never said that. I never said that. You said that the New York classical theists, and I said, who from the Muslims are New York classical theists?
Because Sandre, That's the reason I'm here.
Stop interrupting. Rob, you know,
His one
you know,
is nice.
in court, you're not allowed to ask compound questions.
But my
That's
one
because you
cannot
take
just.
the conversation here and there. So ask me a question, allow me to finish, yeah? So there's 4 defining factors of classical theism, which is a model of God, as opposed to the other model of God. Divine simplicity. God has no parts, no passions, no composition, no distinctions, no divisions, no complexities in him. He knows this, right? That's why he's not stopped me. The other one is that he's impassible. That means that nothing can affect him. His emotions aren't affected by you, nor does he respond to your emotions. So, for example, if I were to pray to God, impassibility means he's not affected by my prayer. So God, for the classical theist, is impassible. Another one is immutable. God does not change in any circumstances. This is taken from the Platonic assumption that change is bad. But again, you have to prove that point, which I hope Bob does so in this conversation, because some things are value neutral. If I face this way and that way, not much value has been changed. So not all things are value positive or value negative. So again, if he wants to push the argument of classical theism, which we'll see, he will have to explain immutability, how a loving God how an impassible God can love, and a whole load of questions that we'll see in this discussion. So I've mentioned 3 things: simplicity, impassibility, immutability, and timelessness. Now, if I remember correctly, the timelessness for you is the idea of presentism, meaning that the past does not exist. And I know this is heavy on language.
By the way, that's not theory. You understand?
So
The 2 things again. So far, what you've demonstrated to me is that I haven't read any literature on classical theism, which I will never claim, and or you cannot give a definition. You understand the definition of the example?
So you asked me a
My
question.
second point,
One second,
I'm
I'm
going to give you
Yeah, but I've never asked
I
you.
allow
Yeah, but what's what?
I condemn myself interrupting you, but hold on. I let you respond. So you've given me examples as a form of definition, which is not sufficient in giving a definition for anything. Second of all, do you believe that someone who holds to classical theism must also deny?
Don't change the topic.
No.
Engage
I'm critiquing your definition. So
You said you're going to engage
your
with us.
definition, which again is not a definition, it's examples given.
So what is the definition?
Okay, I'm asking you to, because you're the one.
Oh, sorry, one second.
You're the
You don't have to.
You're the one.
You don't have to move so
You're
close.
the
One
one
second.
who accused. You're the one who's false.
It's just in my face.
You're the one who accused me of being classical theist. I simply want
No. He said I accused him. Did you accuse him or did I ask him? And then he answered. So don't say I accused you. No, I'm asked you. And I've asked you. What did you say? What did you say? What did you say before that? No, you said you hold to classical theism.
I said, what is that?
It's on
And
camera.
firstly-
Are you okay? I'll ask you again. Are you a classical theist?
Okay. Now, what does that mean? Because what can you allow me to respond? So you've given 4 examples positively towards the definition of the word. Now, firstly, that's not the definition. You've given examples positively towards to the description. That's not the
So
definition.
what do you want me to do? Give them. If I'm wrong,
definition. Now, your examples given within your so-called definition fall short of what actually it means. For example, you can be a classical
just tell the
theist.
people what it is. If you feel my definition, I said it's a model of God.
No, can you
as
stop
opposed.
interrupting?
No, just tell the people what it is.
Can you stop interrupting?
Okay,
I've got a question. Do you believe?
No, don't ask questions. Don't jump. Don't jump.
I'm
Don't jump.
critiquing-
No, if I'm
My
not giving
goodness,
the
this guy's
definition,
wondering, it's crap.
Bob. Okay, good. It's crap.
No.
If my definition is wrong, then he has to tell me why I'm wrong. Is that fair, guys? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Is that fair? It's fair.
Can you hold?
If my definition is
I'm
wrong,
critiquing.
then answer what the question, the
This is
definition
going
of
to be
classical theism
the
is.
dichotomy of a successful discussion. Either you continue the definition that you gave of the word, or rather we pass on and you just continue to your definition, and I continue to my argument.
You can. Well, I'm asking you to engage in what we say. We're not having a monologue. So if you say, let me speak.
Yeah. So can I
It's not
hold?
good for philosophy.
Yeah, which you've done consistently. So if you do that again,
I'm trying to get into the crux of the discussion. If you ask me, if you ask me a question and I give you an answer, it's only feasible or reasonable that you also engage what I say.
Of course, I'm engaging in the
example. If I answer your question, which I feel I have, I told you exactly what the model of God is. I've told you that classical theism is one of them, as opposed to what it isn't. I also give you 4 defining factors of classical theism: simplicity, immutability, impassibility, and I explained all of them, and timelessness. But he says this is not sufficient. Now, if you have something specific in mind, remember you have to make sure that your question is robust enough for us to understand it, not say afterwards and move the goalposts and shift it and say that's not sufficient. Make sure your question is robust, and then maybe I can answer it. But if you say my definition is wrong, please entertain us and tell us what is the definition.
So I'm going to respond with an example, demonstrating that it's not a sufficient definition of what classical theism is. So first, you can hold to the position of classical theism by also denying that God is divinely simple, i.e. all of the attributes within X is identical to X itself. Secondly, classical theism, even within the Christian tradition, believes that time is eternal. Hence, semantically intensive proposition. So two of the examples I'm going to put in classical theism using other
Okay. So listen to what he said. For classical theism, he said 2 of the 4 things I mentioned are not applicable, and he used all of his jargon thinking I would understand. And he said time, for example. Time, because I said usually they hold to that idea of presentism. That's the majority of them. There's 2 theories on time. Sorry, so let me just finish. So there's 2 theories of time. One is that time is universal, absolute, that it runs its course. The second
University of
definition,
Cambridge Press.
yeah.
Classical theism is unique among models of God in that it affirms 4 core
Wait, by the way.
principles. Divine
Sorry.
simplicity,
Let
timeless.
me-
Get my friend
I'm just
David.
affirming it.
Right,
So,
so
sorry,
by
where
the
did
way,
If you get support, no
go,
problem.
David, my boy, he's interrupted.
Hey!
Stand there.
Okay, sorry.
Well, no, I think it's fair. So
If you come in again, I'm coming in. Simple as
He's
that.
giving me this, please. He's giving. Is everything you stand so good?
I
You're
do.
rude. You're rude. Look, you're blocking the views.
Let's act.
You're not etiquette, man.
I'm here to put pressure on. That's why I do
Yeah,
that.
but you don't put pressure on
You
others.
said 2 things.
Yes.
I challenge of the 4 things.
Yes.
So no. Now let me.
Uncle, please. Him?
So do you agree?
Tell him to
Yes,
stop.
yes,
Tell him to
So
stop.
my question is, do you
Look,
believe
Bob, tell him to stop.
Okay, fine. Only because of you, Chacha. Not because of his subject.
want to condemn him?
His master's doing the better job than his subject.
Let's have a conversation. I'm not condemning someone.
Okay,
It's
he's
a colonial
almost
master.
supposed to anathema. Oh, you this and that. I condemn you.
There you
Silly.
are.
David.
Anyway, it's so silly. Anyway, the definition of classical theism, according to Cambridge.
Oh, that needs help. Okay, crazy. He doesn't know what it is. He needs help. Oh, man.
No, I'm just confirming what he said.
Well, no,
You see, again, he's interrupting. No, don't fight him. Condemn him.
Well, he's just
Condemn him. Condemn
just
him like you
interrupted.
said you can do to me.
there was a source that he
See,
gave.
you can't
Wallahi,
do it.
if he
You
got it
can't
wrong,
do it.
I would say he's
Yeah.
wrong.
So now, anyway, this is Cambridge
Now pass it.
confirming exactly what I said.
Yes.
It says, according to the doctrine of divine simplicity, God has no physical, metaphysical, or logical part. What I said exactly. Instead, God's essence is His existence, right? He lacks accidents. This is all everything that I say. Yeah. Where's the part where it says the 4 things? Yeah. Where's the part where it says?
Yeah. The 4 things. The seat. Yeah.
I mentioned there was 4 things. You lot heard me.
Simplicity.
And he said
so
no.
just remember this. Yeah. The
No,
acronym
I'll
seat.
say so. It doesn't.
Simplicity,
Where?
immutability, impassibility. Yeah, there you go. It's here. Look.
Aha. That's so. He said I'm
Take
wrong.
2
Now
and
this.
check Google. That's for you. Hey,
No,
man.
no, it's fine. That's
You
fine.
got it, Bob. You got it.
No,
You got
let me.
it.
No.
What can I say?
This is from Cambridge University
No,
Press.
I'm not letting you run. He said I was wrong with this definition. He challenged 2 of the 4 definitions I gave for this word, and he's running. He said that he challenged, and I'll get back to his challenge afterwards. Yeah, but you can't act arrogant. I don't mind if he doesn't know. I don't know many things. I don't mind
Stop
saying
playing
I
on the
don't know.
camera and get back to the point.
That's true.
Are you going to condemn him again?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's fine.
So now, David, if you, I'm not gonna. Can you tell him to be back? Can you tell him to be back? He's acting. He doesn't know how to behave.
Okay, can I get a ruler? It's just to measure it out. I ain't speak no. You got a ruler?
Oh, you came back.
He has to.
Yeah, look at
I
the
have
woman,
to
she
have
can't
a
even see, man.
definition. I'm not finished. I'm not finished.
It's rude. Like a woman behind you, man. You can't even see.
How's your day going?
Given the definition
Good weather
of
today.
classical,
It's well, yeah.
given the
Yeah, we're gonna get passionate here, though.
Given the
So.
definition-
I'm trying to be
So you're not actually arguing.
I'm rude. So you didn't say nothing.
He's allowed to do that.
It's not his time to speak, mate. It's
What
not
about
time to time to speak. Listen. It's not. My friend. Whose time is it to speak?
Don't be one sided.
Can you look? Can you just tell me to speak back? It's simple.
You know what rude is?
Yeah,
He shouldn't be talking. Yeah, he should be talking. There you go.
Now he said, it's my time to speak. Yeah, it's my time to speak. Yeah. He asked me. He said 2 of the 4 things were wrong. And he said, I didn't give a definition. I'll give you the definition, which is corroborated by Cambridge. It says classical theism is unique amongst models of God. That it affirms 4 core theses. 1 is divine simplicity, 2 is timelessness, 3 is immutability, and 4 is impassibility. All exactly what I said. Now he went on and said, no, that's not a sufficient one. If it's sufficient for Cambridge,
They interrupted him.
I apologize.
if it's
I think so, because it's
no,
about 5
let me
minutes.
finish first, and then you can take the
So 2 minutes each.
So he said 2 of them was wrong. He said my definition was wrong. If Cambridge say my definition is right, I'm bloody happy, mate. I'm not gonna take it from someone in speaker's
an appeal to
corner.
authority.
Look, is it interrupting again? Rewind the time. This is the time.
Why are you talking?
Rewind the
You're
time.
not being fair.
Rewind the time.
Well, you've been going for more than 2 minutes, so no. I'm not rewinding anything.
Okay, so
Anyway,
after
so
your
no, I've not finished my 2 minutes. You gave me 2 minutes.
Well, no, you
so
can
you give
go
me
for
2
longer than 2
minutes, then
minutes.
you take the 2 minutes
Wait, so
away.
just to confirm, are we
Look
starting
at the time.
now?
Look at the time.
It's 20
You
seconds
started
in.
timing it.
Are we starting
You gave
now?
me 20 seconds, then you took away.
So YB, we're starting now, yeah? Okay, from now on, we're
Why
doing
is he
2
making
minutes.
terms?
All right.
Rayhan,
2 minutes.
So-
you want to make terms?
But why is he making terms?
It is 2 minutes or first.
So anyway, the point is, he
Okay,
lied
I'm starting now.
immediately, said my definition was
Starting
wrong. I proved my definition was correct to the T.
No, we have to
Yeah?
apologize.
Let him hold the time.
I approved it. And later on, anyway, as we go, we're going to see some amazing stuff. What this definition of classical theism, what kind of God was absorbed into Christianity. Not all Christians. Most Christians would like to think of their God as someone who is interactive with them, dynamic with them, answers their prayers, responds to them, loves them. But the God of classical theism or philosophy is impassible. He cannot love you. He cannot respond to you. He is immutable. He cannot change. He can stop kissing your teeth. He cannot change. He cannot change in terms of his internal emotions to you. This is what's called impassibility. Now, I'll concede the rest of the time because he has to now prove here how my 4 points in the definition of divine simplicity is wrong because this was his claim.
Okay, so firstly, let's just move on to the definition.
Sorry, one second,
You concede is sufficient. I'm no longer a classical theist. If you consider one of the intrinsic properties of classical theism just being the exception of a theory of time, that's true. I'm no longer a classical theist. I may hold core tenets of classical theism, but you can call me some sort of neo-classical theist, whatever you make it. So firstly, I want to start with my critique, given a formal argument of Allah. Of course, you would deny divine simplicity. All of the attributes of X are identical to X itself. Now, given this opposition of what I hold to as part being less than the whole itself, although you would say that he's separate from the whole itself, he's less than the whole itself. Allah
You can see it, that's right. You understand what I'm saying completely.
being composed, projection, he is the first act. Because the first act would be the composition of Allah. Therefore, projecting the possibility that God is the first principle to which we would establish unity.
You understand, man. You understand.
Now,
Bro, stay.
your second point being impassibility.
1 minute left.
So we would project intrinsic change within God.
He does that.
But for example,
Goes,
and again,
just people like him.
focus on discussion. So I want to make it very careful that you are supposed to address the first part of my argument, not the second. This is the mention of or the something historically. So, EED is the doctrine that through God's energies, which is formally distinct from God, he's able to dynamically interact with creation. Right? And the energies are dynamic in a sense, but of course, God is immutable, intrinsically God. I can see the rest of my time.
Did anyone?
Somebody ready?
Did anyone understand anything that was said there? Now this is meant to be a simple God. Now, okay, can you time it? I'm not having this. I'm not having this crossover. That's so cheap. Look, stop the time. Rehan, stop it. Look, what are you doing? You can't do that when I'm speaking.
Yes, I can, because
no, you can't.
You gave him the phone. Wait a second.
This is not the first time.
You gave him the phone while he was speaking.
This is not the first time.
So
don't point at me. Don't point at me like some bad man.
Pointing.
That's what I said. Look,
Pointing.
I don't believe this guy is a good
Yes, there was.
I don't believe this. I don't believe this guy is a good
Quiet.
Christian anyway.
Okay.
Quiet.
My hands are in my
Okay, now he's going to time it. I don't need you to time it. He's going to time
Well,
it.
if
And if he interferes again for like the fourth or fifth time,
What does that mean?
it's alright. I understand if I was in his position, I'll be scared as
here's what
well.
we'll do then.
So, right,
Here's what
Rayan
we'll do.
is going to know. Rayan is going to time it.
Rehan can't do it.
no,
because
no,
Rehan
no,
is
no,
fine. So, I need somebody who is not a Muslim or a Christian at times.
Yeah, let him go.
Okay.
I don't
Do it, right?
Let's
Good, yeah, I'm good seeing
Let him do it. I trust him more than the Christians.
You time them. You
I'll
time
do it,
them.
I'll do it. Give it.
Give him. You time them.
If I go like this in front of you, that's rude. It's rude.
Yo,
He's gonna time you, this guy.
But
he's
if
going next.
he interrupts, this is like the fifth or sixth time he's interrupted.
Hands are in my pockets, ladies and
Can you ask him to show the gap?
Good boy. Good boy.
No, he's
got the freedom.
He's kissing his teeth.
No, don't worry about that.
Don't even ask
Just don't
him.
interrupt.
Go behind the camera.
No, but you're not going to
I've
interrupt.
asked Rayhan.
Behind the camera and back. All right, cool, man. I'm starting right now, yeah?
Bro, control yourself, man. Come on. You're a grown man.
Okay, anyway, I don't think any of you understood anything, a lick of what it is that he's saying. So you have to break it down for the masses and speak to the people in the way that they understand it.
Exactly.
This is supposed to be a simple understanding of God in his Christian worldview, not everyone's. His view, as he said, was classical theism, but now he says, oh, it might not be classical theism, it's neo-classical theism. So he's not making it clear as what it is. In the beginning, I said he's going to pretend to be a jack in the box, and that's exactly what he said. When I asked him afterwards, are you classical theist? He said, yes, I am. Be clear on your position so we can actually interact with what it is that you're saying. So I gave him the definition of the classical theism. 4 points. He said, no, it's not that. I backed it up with Cambridge's definition. He still hasn't interacted with that. So there's 4 defining points of divine simplicity. He then moved on to something completely irrelevant, which is the argument of composition, which I don't think anyone even understood what he was trying to say. He said mereologically there's parts. Who understands what it means by mereologically parts, apart from him and his trolling? Okay, give us the definition. I'll let you have time, man. I'll give 10 seconds.
Do you want to stop this?
10 seconds. No, 10 seconds. Give it 10 seconds.
All right, go on.
What's mereological parts?
Mereology is the study of how parts relate to a whole, simple and done.
Okay, that's not what mereological parts is. That's not what parts is. So you see, he's the only one that puts hands out. He doesn't know.
You asked me to
No,
describe mereology.
no.
I did so. Simple. Mereology. You don't believe me? Google it.
It's on my phone.
I asked him what mereological parts is. He gave mereology. So again, he keeps disturbing. So he doesn't know what it means.
I'm starting the time. You got
So
30
anyway,
seconds.
so parts, mereological parts, yeah, one, it doesn't involve concrete, abstract things. Like for example, if someone is merciful, mercy is not encompassed by mereological parts because mereological parts do not deal with abstract components. So again, he has to take his argument off the ground in order to say that God, again, see, you know what? One more time, I will stop this discussion.
You're running away because you're scared.
Okay, call it running away. But if you agree with something, you can't do that. You can't do
He's
that.
running away because he's scared.
That's the second time.
You're
he's
running
put his
because you can't
hand
answer.
over
That's what you're doing.
And no one's asked you.
You're looking for any reason to
You
run.
ran yesterday, so no one's asked you.
I stood where I was and you all ran away after.
You know, it's time anyway.
No, because it disrupts his train of
Yeah, but I'm being fair. I'm
Because
telling
he
you,
can't
he
think
didn't
of
say
anything
nothing.
because he's making up his own
Oh,
law.
the hand in
Simple.
front of you. That way.
At this point, no one
He
did.
knows.
Giving
One
someone
answer,
government
give him
interruption.
10 seconds. He couldn't answer it. And then
We
he gave
Muslims
him
have to be
one
just.
answer, and then he kept on.
You guys can't spot
But you know
us.
you asked
Okay,
the question. though.
yeah, I
You
gave him
asked the
10
question.
seconds, right? And he answered wrong. was
Yeah,
us.
good to you.
I
Wait, you got 12 seconds.
So he hasn't
Watch
lifted.
him flail.
Do you know what, Hamza? You know what, Hamza? Just stand in between.
Okay. So anyway, yeah,
Oh,
he
you're
has.
gonna go for it, alright?
No, just stand there. Just stand there in the middle.
See, this is what I'm saying. Wait, no, wait, it was fine. No,
Look,
back up into
okay,
me.
it's up to you. He has
I
to
don't
move.
feel that
He has
way.
to move. He has to move.
As a 16-year-old, I see that this is incredible.
I'm gonna debate you. Come.
No, we're gonna say.
Come. No,
Okay.
he's not gonna stand there.
So we'll bring the camera.
Let's do a summary. Let's do a
He
summary.
can't be involved.
So, yeah. I understand. No problem. I understand that.
Even if you do it intentionally.
Allah's attributes are abstract descriptors.
No, but David, you understand that hand over his face.
Can we not?
This is
Can we not?
ridiculous.
Listen, I'm 16.
I've got 10 minutes. I don't care if you're
Now,
I still got 10
you.
seconds.
Oh, is everyone at this park is petty or something? I asked for some gum and you're saying,
Yes, you said you put your hands in your pocket.
get gum.
Don't lie.
No, you did say that. You did say that. You did say that.
So
But you did say you're gonna have your hands in your pocket.
I've got 10 seconds anyway. I'll take that 10 seconds. Anyway, his argument of composition, which no one understands, wasn't lifted on the off the ground because he couldn't prove what parts mean. He needs to prove to us that I must follow this understanding of parts to suggest God is a composition and then depends on his part. He hasn't done so.
I love you.
I love you
It was 10 seconds. Oh, I thought it was done. I thought it was
Finish.
I'm about to start, yeah? Okay.
So firstly, his response to my account of merology is just faulted. So he said that Allah's attributes such as mercy is just abstract description. According to the account of merology, that abstract entities can't be composed, rather the whole itself. Now, I've got a question. Would we then say, for example, evangelical beings are not comprised of parts, not composed themselves, ontologically simple, as it were? Now, secondly, we have instances of metaphysical parts and wholes. For example, equations. These are abstract entities, as you would agree, or even conventions. Still abstract entities, which are still comprised of parts. Now, my defense of my account of merology, that parts are simply less than the whole itself, is that if you're picking something out which is less than the whole, it means that you're not identifying the whole itself, therefore you're identifying something that's less than the whole, i.e. a part. Now, notice how he just equivocated on my labeling of my position, but rhetorically speaking, you've only done this to obfuscate from my argument. Now, where within this critique of Allah do I have to presuppose the Christian position in order for my critique to be valid? Nowhere. So of course then you're just going to equivocate on my position for the sake of not discussion or engaging with your position defending the entity which you believe is your God. And again, notice that I don't need notes either. And again, you'll put your hand in your pocket.
30 seconds.
Yeah. Just respond to the argument.
I didn't say I put my hands in my pockets. You said okay, so you ready? Yeah. So he didn't deal with the merological parts part. He just said if you have evangelist being or something, what's that got to do with it? Angels.
Angels are cosmic.
Let me explain.
I was just trying to say, would you then go on to say?
No question.
No, that's what I know. What I said in my arguments, I'm not putting anything new in, is that do you believe that angels or devils, would they be simple? Would they not be composed of parts?
There's no part for you to expand this argument.
That's literally what I said.
No.
That's literally what I said. Because these
Are you
entities
repeating yourself?
concretely exist.
That's exactly what you said. Okay.
You want to start, yeah?
Yeah, okay. Okay, so again, he didn't deal with any of the problems that I raised up, yeah? In regards to the merological parts, he hasn't justified why we should believe in this merological parts, yeah? That attributes such as mercy, love, and all this makes a part of God. He has to get that off the ground. There are many positions which say that this is not a part. For me to agree with his merological part, he has to give a strong argument. There are many things, for example, Ibn Taymiyyah's position is that these things are far in bidatihi, they subsist within the essence, attribute. So he had to show how things which are subsistent in their attributes make a part. Ibn Taymiyyah, he says here that these things are not mufarika, it's not like Lego, you can take it apart and take it in. and this is one of the attributes or definitions of part the Sifatiyya used to give in Islamic models of God. So he has to again take his argument off the ground to suggest that God is composed, and he didn't even make that argument clear. I made it clear for you guys. He's trying to argue that God is part, and that part makes a composition, and God is dependent on those parts. Thus, he is not or does not have to say it.
I mean, that,
You got 30 seconds left.
Huh? Oh, go for a second. Okay, so again, he hasn't dealt with my questions, yeah? So I'm going to say there's two things. I'm going to give him the argument of Enomian, yeah? He said that my question to him, yeah, to clarify something, are the distinctions in between the persons, are there real distinctions? I want you to at least one question today, please.
One question.
One question, guys. Are the distinctions in the Trinity between the Father, Son, and Spirit, are there real distinctions?
Time.
okay, cool. So firstly, we're going to stick on Tawheed. Then we're going to talk about God. Because very, very clearly within the discussion to which you agreed to, it is the premise that we are going to discuss on Islam. Then once the discussion is concluded, we'll then talk on Christianity. So, firstly, I did give an account of their religion.